enjoy this. I mean, if you didn't think he was a star before, I think you came out of watching that knowing, like, this guy's a star.
Yes, absolutely. That razor's edge onto the windshield of the ambulance, love that. I wonder if Jack Perry is looking at the screen like, see, they use real glass. Welcome to the Lariat Lounge. This is the home of smart takes, hard hits, and real talk. I'm your host, Everson Godfrey, co-host Andrew Skeens. It's a brand new year. Welcome to 2026. The Lariat Lounge is back and in full effect. We got a whole lot to talk about. I hope everyone had a very Merry Christmas. I hope they had a Happy New Year. I hope you got some relaxation. I hope you had some time with your family and friends and got to ring in the new year exactly how you wanted, because we are fast approaching the road to WrestleMania. 2026 feels like it's going to be a really good year of professional wrestling and a really good year for all of us here at the Lariat Lounge. So I hope that everyone is recharged, that you've got your batteries full and ready to go, because we got a lot of show to talk about. But before we get into any of that, Skeena, how you doing, brother?
All right. Doing all right. Started off, we had two packed episodes to start off the new year. So we got a lot to talk about.
We do. We've got episodes of WWE programming from before 2026 that we also have to talk about. We had our special episode of the Lariats on the last day of 2025, and that did not cover some of, actually, no, wait. We didn't talk about
we talked a little bit about the title changes.
We did. We talked.
We briefly mentioned Carmelo winning the U.S. title and the Usos winning the tag titles.
I must have a gap in my knowledge right now. I don't even remember.
I believe you do.
Okay, that's fair.
We hit those two things. We didn't hit much else from those pre-Lariats episodes, but I didn't think much beyond those two things was that worth mentioning.
Dude, I did not even realize. Well, hold on, because we'll get into all of this because we got a lot to talk about.
I know I mentioned it,
and maybe you did, and maybe I just glossed over that. But we'll touch on some of these things if they come up, when they come up, because I'm sure they'll come up. But yeah, it's odd we didn't really touch on. I know I did not watch the SmackDown on December 26th. I know I didn't watch that episode because we were doing the Lariats and I didn't think to even watch it at the time. And there's some things that have happened on this episode that I am shocked we did not talk about. Or not that we didn't talk about it, but we were doing the Lariats, obviously. But if we talked about some of these things, I totally missed them. But Skeena, you have the final results for the Lariats. We can finally wrap up the award show. There were some awards that people were hoping they were going to get. I got a bunch of hate mail, Skeena, from professional wrestlers. They were like, Everson, where are the award results? I said, hey. They got to go back to the people. If you just hold your horses, we'll get to them as soon as possible. Now's the time. I hope y'all are listening. Skeena, do you have those envelopes, sir?
I do. So we had three categories that we needed to send back and get some ties broken. And we are going to do that.
Oh, nice.
One of them, Women's Match of the Year. We were split. We were split, and the fans were also split between the WrestleMania 41 triple threat between Rhea, Io, and Bianca. And the match from Evolution 2, Rhea versus Io, that concluded with Naomi cashing in.
Okay.
And on the revote, the winner is Rhea versus Io with the Naomi cash in at Evolution. Yes.
Wow. That is interesting.
Yes.
I thought that was totally going the other way.
We had some new votes.
Okay,
and I
cool.
think that's what That's what put it over the top. I didn't limit it to people who had just voted before,
Yeah,
which I don't think would have mattered anyways.
sure.
But yes,
Nice. Well,
Rhea
hey,
versus Io at Evolution 2. Your pick as well is
yes.
our women's match of the year.
Congratulations, Rhea, Io, and Naomi, because you were there too. Congratulations to these ladies. That was an incredible match. They were all incredible matches. And those two that came down to this revote, it could have gone either way because those were just phenomenal matches all around. But hey, congratulations to the winners. Who we got next?
Women's Superstar of the Year.
Ooh, okay.
We'll keep it with the women. We sent it back to the fans between Becky Lynch and Io Sky, who
Okay.
the fans' votes were split with before. My vote
Right.
was for Becky Lynch. With 80% of the revote,
Ooh.
our women's superstar of the year is Io Sky.
Hey, all right. All right.
So,
Hey, look.
and that's who, and that is who you said between those two you would vote for. You voted for Naomi originally,
Yeah,
but
I did.
on this revote, Io Sky takes it.
Congratulations to Io. Look, Io is now currently racking them up. I believe currently,
Yes.
if I remember the votes correctly, she currently is the most winning person of the Lariats right now. She's got 2.
Yes. Yes. I don't believe anyone else. Well, we'll see.
Okay.
Because CM Punk did win men's match of the year
He
with
was in
the
the match
triple
of the
threat,
year. Yes,
as
he
did
was.
Seth Rollins. And our final revote went to men's superstar of the year.
Okay.
And that was between your choice of Seth Rollins,
All right.
my choice of CM Punk,
Yep.
and then the two the fans split their vote between, Gunther and Dirty Dom.
Dirty Dom and Gunther. Okay.
And getting 50% of the vote,
Okay.
your men's superstar of the year
All right.
is Dirty Dominic Mysterio.
Get out of here.
Yep.
Get out of here. Look at Dom swooping in and taking everything. All right.
I don't mind it, to be honest. I
Me
really
either.
don't. Just like we said last week, just even if he's not the world champion, he's excellence every week.
Absolutely.
He really is.
Absolutely. Hey, Dom, hey, listen, all of these recipients would have been deserving. Every last one of them. They didn't make this list because they were not deserving. And for Dom to pull this one out, snatch victory out of the hands of these other competitors is a testament to how much Dominic Mysterio has really just been a joy to watch on screen every week. And I genuinely hope that whatever injury he's got right now, he can recover from it quickly and that he can be back on the screen entertaining all of us because we all love some Dom. So awesome. This is great. So the Lariats have wrapped up officially. Congratulations to all the winners. And look, if you all are new here, the Lariats is something that we're going to do every year. At the end of every year, Skeener and I are going to get together. We're going to put our brains together and we're going to give you a ballot for you to vote on so we can do this every year. I like it. I thought it was fun. Skeener, did you think this was fun? Did you have fun doing that?
I did. It was enjoyable. I'm sure it'll get bigger and better and more fan votes. We'll have more ideas.
Yeah.
Maybe a better tiebreaker process, or
Absolutely.
at least be anticipating it. But start counting down. Only 51 more episodes.
Yeah, only 51
before
more
the
episodes.
next Lariats. So at least 50. So
at least. I mean, listen,
at least 51. So we'll see.
It was fun. That was the most engagement we got on any episode this last year. That's hands down. So I'm glad everyone enjoyed that. I really did. It was fun to do it with Skeener. It was fun to interact with you guys. We've got our winners. Congratulations to all the winners. Those awards will be in the mail. There is no monetary addition to those awards, so please don't look for that. You get paid well enough. And I hope you all enjoy those trophies whenever you get them. If you're new here and you missed the Lariats, right? Welcome. Please tell your friends to come and join us here at the Lariat Lounge. Skeener, please let everyone know how they can reach the Lariat Lounge and what to tell their friends on how to get here.
If you want to go back, you missed the Lariats, you want to catch up on our year-end awards, see who we voted for, see who the fans voted for, you can find all our episodes wherever you get your podcasts. That's YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, we're up there. The Lariats Award is up there, or the Lariat Award episode is up there. That's where you're going to see new episodes once a week, at least every week. We're over on Instagram. That's how you can vote in these awards and participate in polls, communicate with us all the time over on Instagram at the Lariat Lounge Podcast. And as always, if social media isn't your thing, or you need more characters to spew your thoughts or hate or love or anything at us, the inbox is open at the Lariat Lounge at gmail.com.
We appreciate it all, guys. Seriously, give it to us all your engagement, all your emails, all your love or hate mail. We want it all. We want all the smoke. We're literally the Street Profits. We want all the smoke. So give it to us. We love it. We love the engagement. We appreciate it. And listen, if you love what you're hearing, give us a like rating wherever it is that you listen to this podcast. It's a small thing for you. It's free, but for us, it genuinely means the world. I really do appreciate it. Skeena appreciates it. The Lariat Lounge in general appreciates it. You keep the lights on for us. So we genuinely do appreciate all the engagement. But for the first one of 2026, enough with the fluff. Let's get to the stuff. Skeena, what a way to start 2026 with an episode of the Lariat. We haven't gotten any Jericho yet.
Oh, did that not happen?
Did it not happen?
Lots of people on the internet told me that happened. That was going to happen.
Oh, did
that
they?
Didn't happen.
You know, it's interesting. I love the internet predictions. You know,
there was a small Y2J chant at one point on Monday.
Yeah,
I will say that.
Yeah, a Y2J chant, no Y2J sightings. And honestly, because of the fact that I missed an episode of SmackDown, I'm almost susceptible to anything. When you put that music on, I was listening to it at first, and I couldn't tell what it was. But then when I heard it, I was like, he did not show up on that episode of SmackDown. I went back and watched it. I ain't seen any Jericho. I'm telling you what,
SmackDown was full of surprises, though.
Was it though? I cannot believe, Skeena, that I was not watching when...
To be honest, neither was I. And I don't know which surprise you're going to go to first, but I saw one, and I was... I think because, you know, it starts at 7 Central for me, so okay. I was on my way home.
Yeah. And,
you know, sometimes I forget that if I open social media, I'm going to spoil myself. So I did and saw the surprise from the opening segment. And then I thought, okay, they won't do anything else big. So no chance of spoiling myself on other things if I keep going on social media. And I just ruined all the surprises for myself thinking, well, there's no way there's something else like that coming.
Yeah. Yeah, we were absolutely surprised here. So the one I'm talking about, and I'm just scrolling down this list.
Yeah, where do you want to
make sure that I am not.
Because I would say there were 3 big, what I would call big surprises, I guess.
Okay, so wait, I'm looking at this thing here.
But maybe you don't think of them the same way, which is fair.
Well, no, it's not that. I think I might be thinking about the wrong SmackDown I am thinking about the wrong SmackDown, so I'm scrolling through it now. Okay, no. All right, so no, we're talking about the same thing then. So Joe Hendry is the number one thing, right? Joe Hendry and The Miz have a Miracle on 34th Street fight.
That is not. You are a SmackDown behind of what I'm talking about.
Okay, so you're talking about I'm
talking about January 2nd, this past SmackDown.
Did we cover this 26th one?
We did not. The only thing I mentioned from that episode was
Carmelo beating
Carmelo winning.
Yes. Okay, I'm looking back through it now,
so
and I feel like that's the only thing of consequence.
Now we're on the same page.
Yes,
that's why that's all I mentioned.
Okay, and you know what?
I mean, Joe Hendry being there was cool.
That's why that got me
Hendry,
though.
And hopefully Joe Hendry is here more often.
Yeah, it would be nice to see him
in the months to come. I think we will.
Yeah, I harken back to this episode. I harken back to this episode just because I could not believe that I missed Carmelo Hayes winning the U.S. title. I saw that online, and I could not believe that I missed it. But no, jumping ahead to SmackDown on the 2nd, Well, should we cover the SmackDown in a second before we cover Raw? Because we didn't touch on Raw, the one that happened on the 29th, right before New Year's.
Yeah, all we did was mention in passing that the Usos are your
Yeah,
tag team
are
champion.
your new tag champs.
If you have something you want to mention, go ahead,
Well, let
and
me
we
look
can
through real
dive
quick
into
because
it.
I'm trying to see if there's
Okay.
something that needed to be spoken about. Well, okay, look, besides Gunther choking our truth out,
Yes.
let's see, is there anything else that is here? Not really. The Usos win
Yeah.
the championships, and apparently Stephanie Vaquer. Well, I don't know. It's probably kayfabe, but Stephanie Vaquer got kayfabe injured in this World
Yes,
Championship
which we
match.
figured out.
Okay,
This
yeah,
week.
yeah, because obviously Raquel would not be doing what she was doing if this was a real injury.
I was worried though. She
I
was
was
selling it
too.
well, and then
She
she get,
did.
and then once Raquel started stomping her quote unquote injured ankle, I was like, okay,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
feel better now.
Exactly. And look, this is a good thing for Stephanie because it adds a nice wrinkle to the feud that's going on here. And it allows her to get some real good babyface sympathy. You know, because that's always a good angle is when, you know, the babyface has an injury and the heel just goes after this injury because now she's going to be wrestling against Raquel limping and she's going to somehow pull out the victory. I hope she loses. I like Stephanie Vaquer.
They are. I'm still all in on the idea that the company is really behind Raquel,
Me too.
and big things are coming.
I agree. I agree wholeheartedly. And
I still think eventually she gets pushed out of the Judgment Day, but maybe not. I may be wrong there, but I
I would
don't
love
think
for
I'm wrong that big things are coming for her.
I would love for her to win that world title while in the Judgment Day and then have that rift between her and Liv grow because Liv is no longer, you know what I'm saying, the main star, female star of the Judgment Day. It's now Raquel. And for her to have to play second fiddle to Raquel causes Liv to, you know, backstab her. And then like you said, this gets Raquel pushed out of the Judgment Day and she's the clear face. And then you go into a program between her and Liv. I agree with you that they are putting a rocket on Raquel and they're going to push her in 2026. And it's just a matter of when. But I think revisiting Stephanie Vaquer and Raquel, being that Raquel challenged for that title 3 times in 2025. The fact that we are going back to this again with Raquel. I don't think you put her in another program with Stephanie Vaquer and have her lose a 4th championship opportunity. I don't see it. And I would love for this to be Raquel's year. So we have to see.
Very well could be.
It very well could be. But now on to the juicy stuff, right? So January 2nd, SmackDown.
Yes.
I cannot believe we already got Big Trick Willie.
Yes.
Yeah, man. Yeah, with them lemon pepper steppers.
That was great. I mean, it definitely a surprise. That is not what I expected when Sammy came out, but I think this will be good. I enjoy this. I thought Trick was. I mean, if you didn't think he was a star before, I think you came out of watching that knowing like this guy's a star.
Yes, absolutely. Just knowing this guy has star power written all over him. And he has just earned the praise of so many people who are veterans in the locker room, particularly one Booker T, who loves him some Trick Williams, and rightfully so. The dude is oozing with charisma, and he looks the part. He's great in the ring, and if this is his first real feud on the main roster against Sami Zayn, man, the roster of WWE going into 2026, the meat of 2026, is going to be so freaking stacked because we keep getting promos for Obafemi.
Mm-hmm.
And like my man is still the NXT
on
champion.
Every show. Yeah.
On every show.
Well.
Oh, wait, did he lose the title at New Year's Evil?
He did not lose it. He left it in the ring.
Oh, so he's on his way up.
Title in the ring.
Okay.
So I don't know if that counts. I don't know if he can vacate it himself like that, but it seems like he will be, he's given that one up. Yeah, I think NXT went off the air with him leaving the title in the ring.
Oh, that
And like
man's as good as up.
the credits came up with just the title in the ring after he had left it there.
Bro, I listen, this is just me speculating. Obviously, we're not insiders. I have no inside scoop here. He's as good as called up. You
Oh, well,
don't
yeah.
run
I mean,
all
he's
those
getting
promo
vignettes on each
images.
show. Yeah.
That's right. You don't have vignettes on every show, right? Of Obafemi. You don't have all of these people talking online about, is Obafemi the next big thing? Is like Obafemi this, Obafemi this. And then you have this match on New Year's Evil. He wins the match and leaves the championship in the ring. Has there ever been an NXT champion who retired from NXT as the champion? Because that's essentially what he did.
Did Paige vacate her title when she came up?
I feel like she lost.
You know, I'm sure it has happened,
Yeah.
but maybe not like this.
Yeah, I mean, Obafemi went, if this is a vacation of the title, right? A vacating of the title.
I'm seeing that it is official that has vacated it.
Oh, okay. So if he's vacated the title.
But yeah, he won the title or he defended his title and then left it in the ring.
Okay. I cannot remember a champion in NXT who went out as strongly as Obafemi.
Yeah, correct.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he has just destroyed the competition, right? And then he goes out in this match at New Year's Evil and he wins it and retires his championship run on his way to the main roster. If that is not the biggest fuel-powered gasoline rocket strapped to someone's back, I don't know what it is. And you've already been nose to nose with somebody the likes of Drew McIntyre. Oba's not coming up and being in a mid-level feud to start. That's not happening. And good on him. Like, you know what I'm saying? Good on him. Because I think that you're just going to be stacking your roster up. You're stacking your roster out with new talent. You're infusing it at all levels. You know what I mean? With just fresh faces to supplement the roster here. 2026 is just going to be a good year. And we just start talking on the first thing on SmackDown. I'm so hyped. So yes, we had Mr. Lemon Pepper Steppers with Sami Zayn. That promo was crazy. We also had Zack Ryder. No, wait, I'm sorry. Correction.
Yeah.
Correction. Matt Cardona versus Kit Wilson. Welcome, Mr. Cardona. I certainly did not see this coming.
I did not either. But I mean, yeah, I guess like you could assume maybe it was coming. A lot of people are like, I saw this coming. I definitely didn't.
I didn't.
Like, I didn't think he was just going to show up on this episode. And like, this is he's back. I mean, they confirmed it on commentary. He is part of the roster. So yeah, I mean, admittedly, I'm not like a giant Cardona fan, but I'm not a hater either.
Yeah.
So it's nice. Let's see what he can do. And he's seemingly got a little bit of leeway. He's not going to be back as Zack Ryder, so he's going to have the runway with his some of this character that he has built up on the independent scene, I assume. And yeah, let's see where it goes.
My one gripe with this, Skeener, is this. Why did you not just do this at the Last Time Is Now tournament where you had all the hype, you had all the eyes? You know what I'm saying? Why not do...
Yeah.
You could have done this same presentation, start the Zack Ryder music, then have it cascade out, and then come into the Matt Cardona thing when you could have really had the pop. Like, there was a pop here, but this just was not the biggest stage you could have done it on. And you had the opportunity in your hand. He was here. He was doing the tournament. Why not do this then? Listen, he's here now. I'm happy for him as a professional wrestler that he is able to take what it is that he has cultivated in the years that he's been away from WWE and bring that into WWE. I just wish WWE would have allowed him to not just come off like a bottle rocket and come off like a spaceship. And that's what he could have gotten at the Last Time Is Now tournament. But in this, you're wrestling Kit Wilson, which no disrespect to Kit Wilson, but it's Kit Wilson. You know what I mean? Whereas in the Last Time Is Now...
Who has new music.
He does.
So new music seemingly breaking away from Pretty Deadly. I don't know. That's at least how I took it.
I
Is
mean,
that Kit
listen, the
Wilson will
other guy
be
has been
on
gone
his
for a
own
while.
now?
The other
Yeah,
guy's
I
been
think
gone
he's
for a
been
while.
hurt for a while, right?
Yeah, because Kit Wilson's been doing the toxic masculinity thing for months.
Yeah.
This is the first time I've seen him in the ring for real, but he's been doing that for months. So I guess the other guy's injured, and it's probably must be a long-term injury or something because he's on his own now.
Yeah, I think it was a shoulder injury.
Well,
But
we've
yeah,
seen
he's
with
been
Liv
out for a
Morgan
while.
that shoulder injuries can keep you out for a while, depending on, what I'm saying, how they are. And God forbid it's a finger injury because we see what's happening with freaking
Bianca.
Bianca. Good Lord, we're coming up on a year.
Yeah, we are.
We're coming up on a year of no Bianca over a finger injury. That's wild. But yeah, okay. So Matt Cardona, he's back. And of course, Randy Orton is back again. This is his new MO.
Yeah, so that was my first surprise. I didn't expect to see Randy Orton, and he comes out there. Miz is that was the open of the show. Miz is in the ring. He's upset about not being part of Cena's retirement tour.
Still salty about that.
He's insulting fans, which I loved. Out there calling fans fat and whatnot. And
he's a locker room leader now.
And then we get surprise Randy Orton coming out, and he milks his entrance. Love to see that because he deserves it. And Miz thinks Randy is on his side as a fellow veteran. He suggests they team up as Miz KO.
Yeah.
Which is a good idea as far as I go, but Randy did not take to it. And he got Miz 8 and RKO, and
the fans wanted
that
more.
Was that. But hopefully this is them signaling that Randy is back around, because that is always good to have another huge star in the fold. And this show needs it at 3 hours now, because it's 3 hours every week going forward. So
yeah,
they need all the star power they can get, because they were struggling at 2 hours, and we talked about it. But if we've got Orton back, we've got Trick Williams, we're kind of beefing this up, which I like. We'll see where Obafemi lands, as we talked about. So, I think they know that they've got some work to do to fill these 3 hours competently, because this will now be, on the average week, the longer show.
Yes,
I would think, because Netflix on Raw without with commercials runs maybe 2.5 hours, and this show will be 3 hours with commercials, so there will be more TV time for SmackDown. So they got some stuff to do. They just can't keep doing what they were doing. So we'll see. Not to be overly negative. I was excited that Randy Orton was back.
Listen, I'm excited Randy's back. I wonder how many Randy Orton returns we're going to get in 2026. Like, what is the over-under on 3? We get 3 Randy Orton returns.
I think 2 is a good number.
So we got a Randy Orton already. So this was this is January 2nd, so that's 1. So we'll get another period where Randy's away, and then another surprise Randy Orton return.
I think after WrestleMania, he'll go away for a bit.
And then he'll come back for SummerSlam?
Yeah.
That makes sense. That tracks. That tracks. I mean, this is Randy's thing now is big returns. And, that's fine. It works for Randy. And he deserved to take as much time off as he sees fit. With the 3-hour SmackDown, I genuinely hope that Obafemi is not on this show.
Really?
I do.
I mean, it's where he's most needed.
I think he's most needed here because of where the roster for SmackDown currently is.
That's what
I think SmackDown and Raw could use a shakeup on both brands to keep some of the stories fresh.
I'm assuming we'll be getting a draft after WrestleMania.
Yeah, and listen, even if I would love for them to do away with the draft. I would love for them to do away with the draft, and I get it, you're not going to do away with the brand split, right? But if we don't have to have a singular period during the year where roster members are swapped, and we can just have people showing up on other shows, right? And maybe, and I'm just using this as an example, after the Drew McIntyre Cody Rhodes feud ends, right? If Drew McIntyre just shows up on Raw, you know what I mean? And then he's on Raw for 2026. It doesn't have to be a big thing or names drawn out of a freaking Tumblr. He can just be on Raw. Either way, I think that both the brands can use a bit of a shakeup, particularly the women's division on SmackDown. Like they watching
Yeah.
watching
Well,
this
yeah.
this tag match, right? The multi-woman tag match, the 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, that big tag match. That is unofficially 75% of your female star power in one match. You know what I'm saying? And they've all been wrapped up in the same story for the latter part of 2025. That's why you've got your world champion feuding against what's her name? Michin and BFAB.
Who was hurt, and we didn't even do that match. So
yeah. I know. Aren't they both hurt?
I don't know.
I think I heard they were both hurt. So that's like 2 women down.
Is it too bad for me to say that I was relieved when they came on and said we're not doing that match? I don't want anyone to be hurt, but I didn't want to watch that match.
Listen, when you're watching it in post, brother, you can skip whatever you want. I wanted to see at least a conclusion to what you've been building, right? Like in 2026, what I want to see are good finishes. I don't make resolutions, people. I don't do them. But what I would like to see in 2026 for professional wrestling is for matches, angles, arcs to stick the landing. I want to see good finishes to stories. If there was one big complaint, Skeena, that I would have overall for 2025, right? Aside from the good things, it would be that there were more angles and story arcs that did not reach satisfying conclusions than there needed to be. It's not to say that they were all bad. Some of them I thought were, but not all of them were, but they didn't stick the landing. I know from experience that when you stick the landing, it feels so freaking sweet. You know what I mean? It feels good. And when you got some of that, Cena's last match stuck the landing. It stuck the landing, and that's why it worked, right? There were other arcs within Cena's farewell tour that did not stick the landing, and it didn't work. And we know I know exactly what they are. And I bet if you could guess the big one. You could guess the big one. I want 2026.
Which he kind of talked about on, I forget what interview that was.
Was it Cody Rhodes thing?
I think maybe, where he just essentially is like, yeah, Brock and Travis Scott just stopped showing up.
Yeah, I hadn't watched it.
Which is not like anyone needed to be told that was the issue. If you have eyes and watch regularly, you could tell that's what happened. But yeah, we won't get stuck on that. That's a
whole nother thing. But like,
yeah.
That's a picture perfect example, Skeena, of not sticking to landing. So in 2026, I want angles to be started and finished. I want stories to stick the landing. I want anything that you put effort into to make me feel something by sticking that landing. 5 out of 5. I want the floor routine to be flawless, right? I understand it ain't always going to be, but at least you can stick the landing. And so to have this feud, whatever you want to call it, with Michin and BFAB and our WWE Women's Champion Jade Cargill not get a finish, yeah, it's not great. It's not great. I mean, am I missing this portion of the show? No. But would I have liked to have seen an ending to it? Yes. I would have liked to have seen an ending to it. Even if I fast forwarded through.
Yeah, I don't need to see the ending. I can imagine it, and yeah.
What do you imagine?
Jade wins. I'm fine with that. That's the ending. There you go.
Very unimaginative, sir.
I'm fine with it.
But I mean, aside from SmackDown, aside from what else we got on SmackDown, so this segment with Drew McIntyre and Cody.
Okay, yeah, we got to talk about it.
Oh yeah, we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about
Someone needs this. Someone needs to tell Cody that, I don't know. We'll get into it. But I appreciate that he is seemingly unaware that picture can be recreated and printed out as it is able to be found on the internet.
Skeena, that photo could be very sentimental. That could be the one his dad gave him. That could be the one his dad signed.
that piece of paper.
That picture.
It wasn't like just fake a signature on there. Do something.
No,
But
listen,
it was just
I
they just
agree.
did. They
I
threw it
agree.
in like a Target $2 picture frame, and it's printed out on like computer paper.
Listen,
Like,
wait, hold on now.
what is going
Hold
on?
on now. That picture was not on computer paper. If that picture was on
I am
computer
saying
paper,
that was on printer paper.
that picture was on portrait paper. And I'm gonna tell you why I know it was
Okay.
on portrait paper.
Okay.
Because
Okay.
it
So
did
it's
not
still
burn the way that Drew thought it was going to burn when he I remember thinking distinctly to myself, Skinner, watching that scene when Drew's in the ring with that Zippo and he's trying to light the picture. I'm thinking, y'all didn't think this through. Y'all didn't think this through because this thing is not going to go up as quickly as you think it does. It's photo paper. It don't burn as quickly like that. You're going to really have to keep that flame on it. And I could tell also there was a bit of a draft in there because that Zippo flame kept blowing a whole lot, right? And I'm sitting there thinking, oh, this scene's not about to go well because this picture's not going to get lit. So when it came back and it was finally lit, I was like, oh, okay, there you go. Y'all finally got it in. But listen, I find Drew McIntyre's level of pettiness the most refreshing aspect of any villain character on professional wrestling's roster, especially WWE specifically, right? Like Drew's pettiness reaches new depths and he sells it so well. To say that Drew McIntyre is a better heel than he is a face is kind of a duh statement. And he does it so well. And I've stated this before. Cody plays the simpleton baby face really well too. Like,
right. That's why this segment, while it's, I poked fun at it, like, it's silly, but it works for me again because it's Cody. And like, I can buy that the Cody Rhodes character would think like this.
sure.
Like, that's why you're right. Like, it's kind of like the simpleton. Like, that's why it works for me. And it works because, like you said, Drew's pettiness, just the dastardly, just old school, just evil to the core.
Yeah.
Evil.
Yeah, it works. I mean, it's just, I love the fact that Drew plays this almost unredeemable bad guy. Like, he's just bad just to be bad. And this is good.
He posted, I think it was Instagram and not Twitter, of him peeing on Cody's bus. Which is just, yeah. I don't think he actually did, but that's obviously like that's the pose he was in, and it's just like that, just that simple stuff. It's funny to me.
It does. It works so well, and I was saying like this story works. I think because the premise is so simple. You know what I mean? Like it's not convoluted. You know what I mean? It's not overly processed. It's just really simple. These two guys don't like each other, and Cody is the consummate professional and babyface until he gets angry. And then he's rage blind and he's ridiculously dumb. And Drew McIntyre is the heel who you are willing to concede a bit to him because his points that he makes are somewhat salient, even though he's a dastardly heel. But then he digs into the heel bag way too far. And now he's just this irredeemable, like, bad guy. And it's just good. It's just regular old bad guy versus good guy, evil versus good. It's just a great, simple template that wrestling has recycled over and over again in history, and it never gets old. Particularly when you have two people who function in the roles as well as a Cody Rhodes and a Drew McIntyre. You know, they handle it so well. They play their roles really well. I genuinely hope that these 3 stages of hell that they have.
That's the one thing we didn't get to talk about is that we get 3 stages of hell next week.
Yeah.
Or, well, not next week, this week, like in a couple days, right?
Yeah.
In Germany.
At a 12 a.m. start time.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Yeah.
I forgot. And Raw is at like 2 p.m. Eastern next week, I think.
Yeah, I'm glad that we're going into the weekend because I was like, there's no way I'm going to catch this SmackDown. But
Yeah.
going into the weekend, so I will.
Yeah.
I
So
might be up.
we have a regular match, a Falls Count Anywhere match, and a cage match. So
I
pretty standard 3 stages.
now
But I'm
he
sure they're
did
going to
say
do something great with it.
traditional cage match.
I know, I caught that too. So I wonder if it's going to be, I wonder if we're thinking too much into that
I think that was
or,
said intentionally.
okay, I
I
hope so.
I think that was said intentionally, right? I'm
So you're
hoping.
thinking like me, it's going to be an old school style
I
cage.
Skeena, I hope it is the
I
old
think we
big
may be setting
square.
ourselves up for disappointment,
I hope
but
not. But listen, I want the old school big squared cage match. Like that's what I want. The one from back in the day. That's what I want to see. That one is it's always been, in my opinion, the cooler cage. I get it. It's heavy. Transporting that thing is probably hell. You know what I'm saying? But man, it looks good. And listen, they're gonna be it'll be in Germany, right?
yep, Berlin.
Listen, go ahead and give me the
And
cage
you're
match.
saying so you can watch it live on Netflix
If you
is where
yeah,
you're getting the
if
midnight, right?
well,
Okay.
what time did they say it was going to air? I forget what time they said it was going to air on.
I think it's airing normally on USA.
Oh, is it okay? Oh, right, because it's television programming, so they're going to air it at normal time on USA.
I believe so.
Because I feel like when we were watching Raw, they said that there was going to be a special start time for SmackDown. I think it said it was going to be it was going to be sometime in the AM. It was going to be a special start time. I mean, it could be different for on USA Network because they have network programming at that time, so they may just air it at the regular time. But yeah, if you're watching live on Netflix, I'm assuming it's going to go on whenever it goes live, which would be 12 a.m. Whether or not I'm up to watch that, I don't know. I mean, look, Netflix is great. If you are not using a VPN, folks, I suggest you use a VPN. This is not sponsored, but WWE does not appear to care. So use a VPN. If you've already got Netflix and you're already watching Raw, log into your VPN. Throw your VPN overseas. I throw mine into the UK. And I get to watch SmackDown on Netflix exactly the same way I watch Raw on Netflix. It's one less bill I got to pay for, and I get the flexibility of being able to watch whenever I want via Netflix. You know what, Skeena, I'm going to try to work on a sponsorship this year from a VPN. Everybody else
Yeah,
got
I
them.
was gonna say
So,
you're giving. Yeah, I hear it everywhere but us. Everyone, NordVPN. You
or
got
some kind
yeah.
of
We're
VPN. They
already
got
doing it
some.
for free.
We're doing it for free. So yeah, they should hear this and be like, we want to give you sponsorship. You ain't got to come ask for it. But this right here, I think it's gonna be a good match. And do we even know what else is gonna be on that card? I mean, it's SmackDown, so it's not like they build a card for it.
Uh,
But
Let me see. Let me go to the preview and see. We know we got that. Man, we are getting. No. Looks like nothing announced yet. Other than that, I've
okay,
heard some rumors, but don't know how deeply I want to delve into that. I'm sure
okay.
we'll get. I'm sure we'll get Trick. Right. We'll get some more
Oh
Trick.
wait, yeah, we will get Trick
We'll have
because
the three.
Trick and
Oh
Sammy are
yeah,
gonna
no,
be.
it's his match. It's a no. It's Phoenix.
Oh, that's right, Trick Williams and
Trick's
Ray
wrestling
Phoenix.
Phoenix, and then our most anticipated. I think we have the 8-man tag, the MFTs versus the Wyatt Six.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be fun. You know what was interesting
It's gonna
though?
happen.
What was interesting about that was Tamatonga
And
backstage
Shinsuke,
and Shinsuke.
yeah,
That was
that'd be a fun
interesting.
little thing because they cross paths in Japan, so they're playing a little on that. And like I said, again, they need with this show getting longer. They need a Shinsuke back in the fold too, just like they need a Randy Orton, and they need these new stars. They just need, not that these people are just that, they're stars, but they need bodies to fill up TV time
Oh yeah, of
and
course.
segments. And yeah, if they can start branching this out and you've got 4 MFTs, they don't all need to be one segment on this 3-hour show.
Right.
They can be part of the group and do other things too. So yeah, seeing some of those guys get their own spotlight because we really haven't seen that. They have always been with Solo.
Yeah.
So Yeah, branching off and having like a Tama Tonga, get to show a little bit of himself on his own, I think would be cool.
Agreed. And this is what we asked for, right? With the 3 hours, that this would be an opportunity for people to get a little bit more definition added to their character. You're going to need to fill the time anyway, right? So why not go ahead and spiral out some of these onions and, you know what I mean? And let us see more of these layers. So that was really interesting to me, Tama Tonga and Shinsuke's interaction and where that's going to go with Solo. Is that going to split his attention? Right. And then is that going to cause tension between Tama Tonga, Solo, the rest of MFT? That was honestly the most I have been interested in the MFTs in a long time, was just that one segment. We also had a title change. We had Julia defeating Chelsea Green for the Women's United States Championship. Now, I will say this. Chelsea has not been competing a lot, and I get why going into the 3-hour SmackDown year, you're going to want to have someone who is going to be wrestling more. I guess I just wonder why you just did not have Chelsea Green wrestling more. I have, it's, you know what I'm saying? Like I have not been the biggest proponent of Julia, and my tune is not changing now. I thought that match was fine, but to put the title back on Julia, my only hope for this, Skeeter, is that they're doing this because they intend on putting Julia in front of more people, particularly because you've had run-ins with Chelsea Green. You had run-ins. Let me start that over. Jade has had run-ins with Chelsea Green as the U.S. champ, as well as Meechin and BFAB. If we get a program between Jade Cargill and Julia, that could be interesting. Just because I think that gives Julia a bit of a bigger stage with, you know what I'm saying, with a more, an opponent that has more eyes currently on her to give her a bit more shine. And maybe that could be an interesting bridge here, but I'm not holding my breath because this is call-up season, right? And we've already seen people floating around in the background who could be on either show in the women's division. I'm talking about you specifically, Jordan Grace. And you could be going either way, right? I could definitely see her going on to SmackDown and being the person who is challenging Jade going into WrestleMania season, right? And that just means we keep Julia where she's at with the U.S. title and challenging Chelsea Green and your Meechins and your BFABs. But Julia's your champion again, man. I mean, like, thoughts?
I mean, I just so did not expect it that I was a little like taken aback.
Yeah.
But I mean, look, if they're gonna do something with this, by all means, let's see. It's like I'm gonna reserve any thoughts because we gotta see.
Yeah.
Because like we've talked about, and like you just talked about, like they haven't done a great job with Julia so far, but I'm willing to give it a chance. So now let's see. Let's see where it goes, and let's see if we can have some interesting opponents.
Yeah, that's all you really can do.
And not just interesting opponents, stories, something.
Yeah.
Anything character driven. Because we still have not gotten that with Julia for the most part.
No, we haven't. That is the big thing. That is the big thing, Skeeter.
She does the moves good. She wrestles well in the ring. She looks good. The presentation's cool. She's got a great look, unique, but character, they haven't bothered to expound upon that much. No. But like we've been saying, you got 3 hours, so you're gonna have room. Let's hope they do that.
Yeah. And listen, lending a hand of compassion, right? My concern for Julia as a character, not as a person, I think that she wrestles well enough to where I think barring, any type of just unforeseen circumstance, she's not going to get injured or injure someone else, right? My concern with Julia is exactly what we stated before. This is call-up season. And the idea that Jordynne Grace is going to be the only person to get called up that's crazy talk. And I could see, Skeener, people getting called up who may not have come into the main roster with as much critical acclaim as Julia, but have tools at their disposal that WWE programming can utilize a bit better, and she totally gets eclipsed. I mean, she's been here and she has reached the height of the United States Championship. She's lost it, she's regained it, and her momentum does not appear to be moving any faster or with any more force or trajectory or velocity than it was before. And I could just see someone coming from NXT who may be on that same level, right? Which is the level where WWE sees them, right? Which is like the mid-card-ish level. And WWE attaching to them, being able to utilize them just a bit better, and she totally gets eclipsed. You know what I mean? I don't know how much longer in NXT you keep a character like Lola Vice or a Jada Parker, right? Or even Blake Monroe. I know she's newer to the NXT roster, but she already has the goods. She's proven herself on AEW, and she's proven herself on NXT, right? You bring any of these women up, right? We've got the Women's Royal Rumble coming up in less than a month. That is usually where you get these surprise call-ups, these surprises that you're not expecting. I can just see a world where new people come in and totally eclipse her. And part of that is on WWE for setting Julia up for success. Part of it is on Julia, but if I had to put more weight on one side, I'd put it on WWE. It just doesn't feel like they've invested in her, really, aside from what it is that she can do. And we've seen how this has worked with other people in the past. And it's being hopeful that she will be able to come out of it and be able to rise to heights that she hasn't seen. But the people who I'm thinking about specifically, who WWE has really leaned on their talent and less on who this person is, they were already brought onto the main roster on the big stage, right? And so even if you did not lean into things that fleshed out their characters, they never really fell to a point where they couldn't rise back to where they were, and it's at the top of the card. But Julia's never hit the top of the card. And honestly, in this climate where she's currently sitting, I don't see her hitting that rarefied air that Stephanie Vaquer is in. Like, I just don't see that for her. And I don't know. If you're a Julia fan, I would be concerned. I would be concerned going into 2026 that they put the WWE United States Championship back around her waist. Like, whether you thought that Chelsea should have been the U.S. champion again, I hear you. But they had an out. If you want to think about it differently, right? They had an out. The belt was off of her. You could have put her in a position where she could have been bumping shoulders with Jade Cargill, because currently she ain't got nobody to compete against. And you put the United States Championship back on her. I don't know what that says about her, but for me, that makes me feel like WWE has a solid place that they see her, and that's where they want to keep her. So I hope that 2026 is a better year for Julia than 2025 was, but I'm not placing a bunch of chips on black on that one. So we'll just have to wait and see. I'll say something to you, Skeener, that I am genuinely happy about. I'm genuinely happy that it appears that Damian Priest and Aleister Black are done.
They promised. They said this is the conclusion. They said it like 3 times.
I'm hoping that they meant every word of that, because, I am not the biggest Damian Priest fan, although I do like Damian Priest. I'm certainly not the biggest Aleister Black fan. I'm glad that they had something to do in the latter part of 2025. And honestly, to be fair, this was not a bad match. The ambulance stipulation is always fun, and they did some really interesting spots. That razor's edge onto the windshield of the ambulance, love that. I wonder if Jack Perry is looking at the screen like, see, they use real glass. Or if CM Punk was somewhere backstage, like, you shouldn't have done that. But it worked. The spot looked great. That choke slam off the top of the ambulance could have been could have been better, but I get it. Trying to be safe. But I think the match was fine. I thought it was good.
Yeah, it was good. Rhea coming out of the ambulance was fun.
When,
The crowd loved that.
when did Rhea come out of the ambulance?
When Black, yeah, you must have.
I must have missed that. Okay, so wait, break this down for me, please. When did this happen?
So Zelina went to throw open the doors of the ambulance, and Rhea was in the back of the ambulance and chased Zelina off.
Oh, yeah, I didn't.
And hit her with a riptide in the ring. Yeah.
Okay.
And Damien struggled with his fireball a little bit. I do remember that. But yeah, I mean, it was good. I'm sure it was a great match too. Well, I'm sure it was fun for the people live. In my experience, these kind of matches are always hard to actually see when you're there live and they're running around everywhere. You got to watch a lot of it on the screen. But yeah, just hopefully both these guys can move on, because this wasn't, it is what it is. We've exhausted it, and hopefully both guys can move on now.
I agree. I mean, my only thing I'm going to say about this one is I wonder where either one of these people go. I feel like Damien had his moment in the sun and his championship run was fine. I enjoyed Damian Priest, and I think people genuinely like Damian Priest, but I don't know if WWE really look at Damian Priest like he is the top tier wrestler that they put other wrestlers in, that category. I don't know if they see him that way. And he spent the latter part of 2020, he spent the majority of 2025, walking the halls backstage, doing a bunch of nothing and mouthing off with Aleister Black. And then they had their series of matches. And I don't know. I could see him being enhancement for new people coming up, a nice feud on the way for somebody who they're trying to build up. I don't think that was Aleister Black. I think Aleister Black is sadly seen by the company the same way that the company saw him the first time he was here, which is he is a great talent in the ring. They think that, his moveset is unique, but he does not hold the cards necessary to be a main eventer on anybody's stage. And
I agree, but I also think that's fine.
I agree.
Look, not everyone can be at the top of the card.
This is true.
I think everyone should aspire to be. Well, I don't even want to say that, but we need some of these guys.
Oh, absolutely.
We need Aleister Black and Matt Cardona and some other people to wrestle in the middle of the card, but to be interesting while they do it.
That's it.
That's where we've got to get to. And I don't think this story was doing it for either person. The biggest reaction was, you got reaction for the big spots, because anytime you slam someone on an ambulance or choke slam them off, the crowd's going to pop. But
of course,
other than that, the biggest cheer was the actual star, Rhea Ripley, showing up. So, hopefully we're done with it, and I think we are. So,
yeah, I you know what I would love to see for SmackDown as we move off of SmackDown. What I would love for SmackDown to see is a resurgence in SmackDown's popularity in the way that it used to be. It's interesting how the polarity shifts with WWE shows.
It always ebbs and flows.
It ebbs and flows. There was a time when SmackDown was the hot show, and we were asking these same questions like, what are they doing on Raw?
Yeah, that Roman Reigns guy kind of helped, though.
This is true. That little group that people used to talk about, it's like the Bloodline or something.
Yeah. That was good TV.
That was very good TV.
But aren't you excited that Carmelo Hayes made sure to reassure us all that the U.S. Open Challenge will be staying? How long can they do this? You're going to run out of people. They already have. What is going on?
Dude, I hear you. I hear you 1,000,000%. The only thing I feel that is a saving grace here is that Carmelo is the champion. I think it is high time that you put a title on this guy. I hope that in the year of our Lord 2025, that somehow, some way, we do away with the U.S. Open Challenge. Like, I just genuinely feel like when you do not allow this title to stand on its own 2 feet, you kneecap it. You handicap it because it has to adhere to these U.S. Open Challenge rules. Like, you realize that in 2025, we did not have a single United States championship defense that had a stipulation. Not one.
I didn't realize that because why would I care?
No, but I'm not saying that you should, but if you think about it.
But you know what I mean, yeah.
Yeah, if you think about it, right? We did not have a single United States championship match that had a single stipulation. That means no variation whatsoever. Every match was a normal one-on-one singles match, 1 pinfall or submission, nothing special about it. That means no U.S. title match happened on a PLE. All these open challenges happen on regular shows. I mean, that's crazy to think about, that you have a title that does not make PLE appearances. You have a title that does not get stipulations. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? That makes zero sense to me. But, I don't. I hope that 2026 is the death of the U.S. Open Challenge. But the fact that when I saw Ilya walk up to Carmelo backstage, I was like, man, I know what he's about to say. And are you going to keep the challenge open? Please don't. I was hoping you say no.
Me too.
Nope. That would have been great character development. If he was like, you going to keep doing the open challenge? Nah, I think I'm done with that. Great. Hats off, dude. I would find his Twitter account or X account or Instagram, and I'd be like, yo, I'm with that. I'm with all that. But, listen, I don't know how SmackDown is going to get on Raw's level, because Raw's doing big things. Look, Raw got a Stranger Things episode. So it's January 5th, 2026. It's the first Raw of 2026. Now, mind you, SmackDown aired on January 2nd. That was the first WWE program, big program, of 2026. They didn't get anything special. They had a Randy Orton return, Trick Williams, and Julia winning the title. And we had an ambulance match. Fine. It's cool. But we were in the upside down for Raw.
We were. Raw got strange.
It got strange, and there were some things that happened. For one, we have new women's tag team champions.
We do.
Rhea
Kicking
Ripley
off the show.
And Io Sky kicked off the show.
Surprised me.
Did they start at the show, or that they won?
That they won. I was not expecting the titles to change.
I kind of felt like they were going to shift here. Like, really? Unless there was any type of interference or, tomfoolery happening, I couldn't see a reason why you didn't go with this, particularly because we've been foreshadowing this whole thing with Charlotte and Alexa and Rhea and Io. And I just did not feel like you keep putting this off. And then we got that segment right before they went out, right? With Charlotte and Alexa and Rhea and Io. And so I'm just like, I think they're going to beat the Kabuki Warriors right now. I think they're going to beat them. And they did. I wouldn't say it was a prediction, because I certainly wasn't predicting anything, but I just felt like it was going to happen. And it was a good match, and we have new tag champs. So what does this mean?
It was a good match. It was a good match, but yeah, we'll see where they go. Because I mean, you would think these, the 4 teams we saw on SmackDown are still involved in this, chase for the titles, but because I don't think we got. No, we didn't get a segment that laid out anything for the future, right? Unless I'm forgetting something.
No, I don't think we did. I think they won the titles, and I think that's the last we saw of Rhea and Io on the show. But I mean, I agree with you though. We still have, Lash and Nia as a team, and we still have Alexa and Charlotte, which I definitely think they're going to, they're going to go into that feud there. But and then we got the Kabuki Warriors, which, obviously there are no rematch clauses anymore, but they're still here. I don't know what happens next, because I mean, for sure, we've got Charlotte and Alexa. They kind of called next up, but I'm sure that can easily be contested by Nia and Lash. Where the Kabuki Warriors go right now, not sure. But it'll be interesting to watch because we still have a lot to do with Lash and Nia. Like that to me is the team we've seen the least of. And Lash is a star. And, Nia is a great asset to this women's division and tag team division. And
okay, we're getting there with you.
I'm being nice.
We're getting some Nia praise.
I'm being nice. I'm not being mean. There's no reason to be mean. I think she is a great addition to the program, and I think that her and Lash together are a great tag team, and we need to see more of them. And we haven't seen a lot of them in this feud, so I don't think you put those two together to do as little as we've gotten with them. And so I would assume you get a program at some point between Charlotte and Alexa and Lash and Nia for who is actually the next up to challenge Rhea and Io. And then we can go from there. But yeah, we got new tag champs. I'm going to tell you the truth. Okay, so let's just touch on real quick the other title change that happened on Raw. This I was not expecting. So Becky Lynch defeats Maxine Dupree to reclaim the Women's Intercontinental Championship. Skeena, this is the one I was not expecting.
Neither was I. I wasn't expecting either, but
I had no expectation here that Becky Lynch was going to walk out as a champion. Do I think this was the wrong move? No. I don't know if I really had an idea of where this went after this match, because this needs to be, in my opinion, the blow off to this. I don't see where you continue to go with this, although it does seem to be a bit of a lackluster finish for Maxine. Like, unless you rope this into something else, and I'm not exactly sure what, but Becky Lynch has the Intercontinental Championship again. It's not a bad thing that she has it, obviously, because it's Becky. But it's not bad because Becky having this championship opens up the door for some of the women who are in the tag division to have somewhere to go when some of these tag teams dissolve, right? Some of these, in fact, aside from the Kabuki Warriors, every one of these tag teams that have been in this feud are makeshift, which means at some point they're going to split up and they're going to either go do their own thing mutually, like I believe Charlotte and Alexa are going to end up doing, or they're going to disintegrate the way I feel like Lash Legend and Nia are going to eventually do. But some of them are going to need something to do because not everybody's going to be competing for the WWE Women's Championship. So the Intercontinental Champion being Becky Lynch just makes for a bigger box office, program. And I could totally see a world where we get like Becky Lynch versus Charlotte for the IC championship. Has Charlotte ever been IC champ?
Don't think so.
I don't think so either. Oh, because they were just recently.
I mean, yeah, I don't think she's been around a lot or maybe ever on the show in which it has been on.
Yeah. So, right. Okay, this is Raw.
Yeah.
But we need a shakeup at some point. And these tag teams have been interacting with each other, and all these tag teams are not squarely on Raw. So, yeah, I think that maybe you get some shuffling based on the fact that the tag teams are able to kind of move around shows because the tag team championship kind of moves between shows. So I don't know. I would love to see a program between Becky and Charlotte for the IC championship, or Becky and Lash or Nia. Like, these are all great combinations of matches that we could get. And I don't know if they would carry as much weight if Maxine was the IC champ, but I just hope they do something good with Maxine coming out of this, because I think she's done a good job of earning her place. And, Ivy Nile was floating around backstage talking about wanting opportunities. Now, is she on SmackDown or Raw? I think she's on SmackDown, right? Oh, she's on Raw. Okay. So, yeah.
She's on Raw because her and Maxine wrestled. That was Maxine's title defense, I believe. But
that's right.
Yeah, I was surprised they got the title back to Becky. We'll see if this is the end of their interaction. If it is, Maxine at least came out of this the bigger star. We'll have to see. I don't know where they're going with this, but it was definitely shocking. Like you said, I don't think it's necessarily the wrong move, but I do want to see where they're going with it.
Yeah.
And if they are continuing, to have Becky and Maxine have this interaction, or if they're going to go their separate ways. I think there's good ways to do both, and we'll just have to see. I know that's not a satisfactory answer or thorough analysis for anyone, but I don't think it would be prudent to do a lot of talking about fantasy booking and talking out things when I don't know where they're going with it. But I think it's interesting to play on the angle that, like Becky said, whatever, 4 weeks in the dungeon doesn't make you this whole new person, which is kind of what played out in the match. That, like, Maxine, while better, maybe she wasn't looking out for Becky's underhanded tactics and thought she could overcome them, and this time she couldn't. But anytime you give these characters like Maxine and, like we talked about, Lyra earlier in the year, or early last year, that it's good to give them some adversity to work around and see how the character responds. So we'll see where we go from here.
I mean, look, we can definitely look. Lyra definitely grew a lot from her interaction with Becky Lynch, and even outside of the championship title scene, we've just seen so much character development and growth with Lyra and Bailey after the whole Becky interaction that was happening last year. And Lyra is just looking at Lyra now versus this time a year ago. It's like night and day. I mean, we were having commentary about her earlier in 2025 about how milquetoast her character was. And now her character does not look like milquetoast anymore. Like, she feels like a more fleshed out character. She has nuance. She has layers. There's gravity to some of the things she says. Some of the quirkiness in her character was developed through interacting with the dueling personalities of Bailey. And we got to see the fiery, fierce side of her that Becky pulled out of her. And you're just getting more of these layers. And as you get more of these layers, right, you just get a better picture of who the character is. If there's one thing that Maxine has shown us, is that she can do character work. And honestly, dude, that's half the battle. Like, if you can do the character work, you have a really good foothold in being successful. And we could definitely work into an angle where maybe she's doubting herself. Maybe Becky was right, that 4 weeks in the dungeon doesn't make you a prodigy in the ring. And she wasn't, like you stated, prepared for Becky's underhanded tactics, and she lost the title. And now maybe she's going to need to revisit Natty, and Natty's going to have to smack around and, knock some sense into her. And she's got to get her.
Last time we saw her, Maxine was smacking Natty around, so we'll have to see.
That's true. It's funny you say that, because this goes back to what it was that we were saying originally when Maxine was beating Natty at the dungeon. Because Becky Lynch beat Maxine the way that she did, what does this say about the boat? Like, either your training sucks, or the person that beat you lost to Becky Lynch so easily. Like, how easy are you to beat? I don't know. I'm here for the ride for this one. It's one of those storylines that I detach my brain from reality and just kind of let myself enjoy it and just go along for the ride, because trying to make too much sense out of it hurts my brain. And and I don't want my brain hurt, Skeeter. I don't want my brain to hurt. So I just let it rock. But speaking of Lyra, so Lyra played host to the returning Liv Morgan in her first match back. Liv looked good. Liv, it's easy to forget. At least for me, it was. It was easy to forget how much I missed seeing Liv Morgan in the ring. And it was nice seeing her back. The strange thing is, and we spoke about injuries earlier, and we spoke about Dom being injured earlier. Is it just me, or the fact that JD McDonough is on the injured list? The fact that where's Finn Balor? The fact that Dom is injured. The Judgment Day just does not feel the same when all the dudes are gone. And I thought that when you had all of them interacting together, Raquel, Roxanne, and Liv, right? We've got a story to tell. We're playing off some things here. It's fine. But when I saw Liv and I didn't see Dom, I kind of felt like something was missing. And that's maybe it's just me loving that pairing between the two of them, but it just felt like something wasn't there. I don't know. Did you have any feelings toward this match other than seeing Liv back and being happy about that?
No, honestly, I didn't think about it that much.
Yeah.
I guess you're right. It was strange to not see them there, but I actually didn't think about it that much. I'm glad Liv's back. Good to have Liv back. The crowd still loves Liv. That was my takeaway.
Yeah,
Is
they
that
do.
people still, she's the quote unquote heel here, and people are cheering way more for her in this match than they were for Lyra.
Absolutely.
And we've completely flanderized the character of Bailey to just she gets angry and loses her mind. It's gone from we're hearing these other Baileys that are influencing her choices and those nuances to, she snaps and gets mad and can't control herself. So,
Yeah.
which look, it is what it is. I mean, again, I don't. It
I
just
hope for Bailey's
that
sake.
character lost all its nuance, and the
It did.
nuance that we were loving when it was getting introduced, and now it's just gone. It's just evolved into slap Bailey, and she gets really mad, and
Yeah.
she goes super Bailey on you.
I hope that Bailey's okay with it. That's honestly, Skeeter, like that's my only assessment. When they started moving away from it and we started getting less of that, I got frustrated for a moment. And then I was like, but this is what WWE does. And my only hope is that Bailey is okay with it. Like, if Bailey is okay with giving the character that she was building just enough backstory to let the fans know what's happening and then move into this more generalized depiction of it, if she's okay with it, I'm okay with it. Because my biggest thing that rubbed me the wrong way is when I feel like WWE is misusing talent, right? And the idea of misusing talent usually coincides with the idea that the talent doesn't want to be misused. But that's also the reason why, like, I never got upset when we didn't see Shinsuke. Because Shinsuke seemed and does seem very happy playing the role he's playing. Like, if you see anything about Shinsuke outside of WWE programming, that man seems to be living his best life. Like, he is getting a nice check from WWE to appear when he appears and does what he does. And after years of being the king of strong style, right? I think you've been awarded and can afford to work the type of schedule that you want to work, right? And wrestle the years that you have left on your wrestling bingo card however you want. And so he doesn't seem to be begrudged about the wrestling or lack of wrestling that he does, and that's fine. But when I see somebody who appears to really be wanting to wrestle and WWE's like, "No, we ain't got enough for you," that's kind of when I'm like, ugh. So for Bailey, it's weird because if you've heard her in interviews, she seems to want to do more than what she's doing. And for her to be building this character, which was a long shot to begin with, I mean, you really had to thread the needle correctly for it to work. But for her to be attempting to do something like this, and then you get it for a few weeks, and then it seems that they go away from it, then they come back to it just a little bit, and you're thinking, oh, okay, maybe they didn't abandon it. But then it turns into what you stated earlier, which is she's Bruce Banner to the Incredible Hulk.
Yeah, pretty
You
much.
slap her, she gets angry, and she goes, Super Bailey, and now she wins the match. It's
which
so
is like odd in itself because it's not like Bailey has ever been like the physically imposing one.
yeah,
She just like goes crazy. And like if she's better like that, maybe she should have been doing that the whole time. Like it's just odd to me. I don't know.
true.
It's odd and a little disappointing.
I don't
Which we can
disagree.
use to segue into something else I find odd and disappointing, but I will give it time, is
Okay.
that the harmonious Usos and that Jay is fine with putting aside his singles aspirations that were so dear to him and had him really in a bad mental state a few months ago. He is seemingly just back on track with being the tag guy, which again, I love the Usos. I'm glad the Usos are back together, but I don't know why we dropped these breadcrumbs for, Jay to be disappointed with himself and his station on the show if we were just going to do this. Now, it could we be setting up for him to snap after they lose? Maybe, but that's not what we're getting now.
Yeah. I think that what you just postulated is what is happening. I have not lost any faith in what is happening here. I think that if I were to plan out the story arc for what happens with Jimmy and Jay and utilizing the plot points that have already been put on the table for me, this is exactly what you do. I mean, Jay, if you want Jay to really fall off, right? And remember, his beef had less to do with his position on the card and more with the fact that he did not feel like he was living up to the potential that he had set for himself, right? You had him beat Gunther, you had him be the world heavyweight champion, but it was mirrored with the controversial takes of the WWE universe, right? But he was still the champ. Then he loses the title and he wants to get back to it. He ain't lost that fire just yet, but he can't seem to make his way back. And every time he tries, right, he fails. Excuse me. So then he starts to question himself, right? Jimmy is here trying to get him to be the Jay that he used to be, right? To remember who he is. He begrudgingly seems to go back into this tag team division, right? Then he and Jimmy get somewhat in sync and they win these titles. If they were to go into their first title defense and lose them, what I would do is have Jimmy be the one who's like, we just got to go back and challenge him again, Oos. Come on, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're going to get our titles back. And then have Jay lose it. Have Jay lose it. Lose total confidence in himself and then turn that inner anger onto his brother. Like, that's how I would do that, because I feel like if you're going to play this fall from grace angle with Jay and ride it to its conclusion, you've got to make the fall hurt. It's got to really hurt, and hurt more than just somebody who had the championship and lost it. You got to have somebody who's lost everything. And by everything, I mean all confidence in himself, all confidence in his ability to be a champion and to stay a champion, right? And then feel like anybody who is trying to tell him that those thoughts are not real thoughts are just messing with him. They're just lying to his face. And that inner anguish turned into outer hatred that you push onto other people, because that's what hurt people do. Hurt people. And that's the angle I would play with Jay. That deep down Jay is hurt, and he's going to take that hurt and he's going to start hurting people that are close to him, particularly his brother.
Yeah, that's good. I guess, it comes down to, like you said, having the faith that they're coming back to this. And I don't know. So I guess I'm worried that faith will not be, not be rewarded. But maybe it's just impatience too, because it has just been a couple weeks. We can tell long-term stories. I'm just getting impatient on this one, I guess.
I hear you.
But for now, it's fine. We'll see where they go and who they defend against, and we'll go from there.
I'll tell you this. If there was anything storyline-wise that we've had going on sitting in the slow cooker that I would say wait and see on, it would be this one. This is the one that I would be definitely like, let's just wait and see. I think they've got something that they're working on, something that can go really, really right if they do it well. And I think they're going to deliver it to us. My thing is just whether or not they stick the landing. If you make it hit right, it's all going to be worth it. It's all going to be worth it. Plus, Skeena, I have not let go of the fact that Jimmy's wife, Naomi, is at home pregnant. She's going to be giving birth sometime between now
and it's gonna look like Jay.
Hopefully, because they twins. So
Yeah,
I would hope that they look.
that's the joke.
Yeah, I hope they look.
I'm still all in on that angle you were too scared to book, but wanted to book that Jay's the father.
Yeah, I
I'm in
don't.
there.
That ain't it. That ain't the one. That ain't the one. But I listen. Jimmy is going to be taking a little bit of time away to be
Yeah, you're
a
probably
new
right.
dad. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah, you're
what
right.
better way to set this up than to have them have these tag championships, right? And then them lose them unceremoniously in like their first title defense. Because listen, this segment that they did on Raw, the Usos are talking a lot of ish. They talking loud, right? And if they go into this first championship, which had championship defense, which had Jay going into it still in that doubting phase, right? Jimmy was still having to big this dude up the night they won the titles. And then they win them. Maybe Jay is feeling himself, getting a little confident. You know what I'm saying? Maybe Jimmy's right. Maybe Jimmy's right. You know, I was strong in the tag team division. I'm here with my brother. We champions again. This is what I need to do to get my mojo back. And then the first championship defense they lose. And you know what they should lose to? The New Day. There's all
Would be
that
nice.
history
Yeah.
there. You know what I'm saying? Between them. And they've already set the stage. And seeing as how AJ and Dragon Lee are no longer a tag team, right? They lose to the New Day. They're rivals over the decade, right? That should break Jay Uso.
Did you see they pulled out the old stunt granny for Woods?
No, I didn't see. No,
at a live event. Yeah, he was brutally attacked by an old woman in the crowd.
No, I didn't see that.
Yeah. And
I didn't see that.
Poor Dragon Lee. I guess he was just a fling for AJ because AJ has forgotten about him and moved on. And
Dragon Lee's flavor of the week.
Was it just me, or did that segment between him and Gunther was kind of, I don't know. I thought it was weird. Like,
how so?
Some about the timing of it. It just, I don't know. It was fine. I get what they were doing. I don't know if I like Gunther just being slapped and taking it. Is that what he should be doing? But I guess we can get it back. I don't know.
So here's my thing. We've only had one instant where we had a Gunther who was going off of the rails in his anger, right?
Yeah, and I guess he can be the calculated guy. He's gonna
wait to get you in the ring, and then he's going to beat you. You know what I'm saying? Like he's gonna break
you tap out like a bitch,
like a little bitch. That
like the shirt says.
Like the shirt says.
It's a great shirt.
I think that's Gunther. We've only had one instance of him kind of losing his ish and wiling out in the moment. And I think that it fits Gunther's character. I thought that this segment was excellent. I thought it was excellent. You start with Gunther in the ring
so hard,
doing his thing, his whole I made John Cena tap out like a little bitch, and he's got the t-shirt and he's out there. He's really, and then AJ's music hits. AJ walks in, he gets in the ring, and he keeps trying to say something to Gunther, and Gunther just interrupts him in the most indignant fashion and just continues to revel in the you can't see me, and he beat John Cena and made him tap out like a little bitch, and AJ smacks the taste out of his mouth with the microphone and dares him to do something. I love that. I love seeing AJ in this bag because I think that he does it better than most. When AJ's in that bag of like, do something, that's right. That's what I thought. I was like, I love it. Let AJ be in that bag more often where he is pissed off and he's daring somebody to jump. I liked it. And I thought that the backstage segment, I could have done without the backstage segment. If I felt like this segment overreached at any point, it was continuing this backstage. I wish that when we had Gunther and Adam Pearce interacting backstage, that AJ was not there.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I didn't need that part. But I think everything in the ring worked. And I thought that it worked phenomenally. Pun intended. It just was overextended a bit into the back. But we all knew this was coming. We all knew that this arc was coming because they did some really great foreshadowing of it in the snow. backstage. It was going to happen. So I don't know. Oh, wait, we're getting this next week.
Mm-hmm.
We're getting this next week. So apparently, we're not getting this at a PLE. That sucks. I mean, we may get more than one, and there's no title on the line, so we could very easily get more than one of these. But no, yeah, I thought the segment was good, man. I thought the segment was good. I think the matches are going to be good.
Yeah, I mean, regardless, the match is going to be good. I don't know. It just, for me, that one came off as a little awkward, but that could just be me.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I can see why you thought that.
Something about the ending and I don't know. It seemed a little weird and mistimed to me, but that was just me.
The only part I thought was genuinely mistimed as far as what happened in the ring. Oh, not mistimed. I thought that when AJ slapped Gunther and, Gunther got up in his face and he was like, do something. And he was like, that's what I thought. I thought that the crowd should have reacted in that moment. They didn't react. And that to me was the only part where it felt off. But it didn't feel off to me because what they did felt off. It felt off because the crowd didn't respond the way I thought they were going to. I don't know. Maybe it's an indicator that I'm wrong. Maybe the crowd thought that it felt off too, and they just didn't react because it felt weird. I have no idea. But next week's match is going to be good, regardless of the fact. And I certainly don't think that one match on Raw, and where are they going to be at on Raw? France, right?
Is it? I'm not. I do not remember.
I can't remember, but they're going to be somewhere overseas. Okay. It's probably France. You looking that up?
I am. Dusseldorf, Germany.
Okay, so they're staying in Germany. Okay.
In Germany, so we are
okay,
right, neighboring to Gunther's country of origin.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Austria and Germany share a border, and
they do. Well, Germany and France also share a border. Germany and France also share a border. That's why I thought they were going there. I don't know why I thought France, but okay.
Yeah, they'll be in Germany over the weekend. So Gunther will be the hometown hero of
quote,
sorts.
Unquote.
Yeah.
Quote unquote.
Not quite,
hometown.
But
close enough in WWE standards.
Yeah.
Until we get to the main event, the pièce de résistance, right? We got Braun Breaker,
waiting for, I'm sure,
versus CM Punk for the World Heavyweight Championship. I was wrong here. I thought that CM Punk was not going to walk out of this match as the World Heavyweight Champion. After watching the match, I can see how this can play out, and WWE would want CM Punk to stay as the champion, particularly when you realize that Elimination Chamber is in Chicago. I could not imagine them going to Chicago, Elimination Chamber, being so close to this date, and Punk having the title and them taking the title off of him before that date. But I didn't know that Elimination Chamber was in Chicago before I watched Raw. So I genuinely thought that Braun Breaker may take this title off of CM Punk, but that didn't happen. But this was a really fun match. It was obviously shenanigans involved because apparently when you're dealing with any faction in WWE that is a heel faction, you cannot have a regular singles one-on-one match without having interference. So, of course, we got the Vision running in to help Braun, and then they were run off by a combination of assortment of characters, including Penta, including who else was it? Ray Phoenix or Dragon Lee? It was Rey Mysterio.
Dragon Lee and Rey Mysterio. Yes.
Okay, so all the luchas came to Punk's defense. Punk needs to put the mask back on. That's an incredible idea. He needs to put the mask back on and tag with Rey and Penta and Rey Mysterio, Penta, and Dragon Lee, right? And they need to go up against Division in a 4-on-4 match, mask versus unmasked.
On one of these. On one of these shows.
I need that. I used to love his SES mask. I loved that mask. I genuinely did. When he was in those mask days back in the Straight Edge Society, oh, dude, we have to just sit down and talk about that one day. Just the nostalgia of it.
It was incredible.
I loved the Straight Edge Society. Oh my gosh, it was such a...
I mean, yeah, it's peak.
That is peak Punk. I mean, good times. But this match, goes off without a hitch because the hitches don't get to get involved because they get run off by the other hitches. And we get back to this singles match where, they did the thing, Skeeter. I thought about you when I was watching this match. They did that thing that you don't like when they do, and I agree with it. So,
which is
CM Punk is on the turnbuckle.
And
Braun Breaker goes to do his Breakensteiner. He does the Ascent proper. He does the Breakensteiner proper. There must be some sort of miscue between him and Punk, but Punk does not go off.
I think Punk got caught. I think he got caught up. I think his feet weren't in the right spot. And when I saw it back from another angle, it looked like he just couldn't get off the turnbuckle.
Okay.
When he tried to do it.
Yeah. And Breaker went off. Punk did not go off. Then they did a little bit of wrestling in between, and then
I thought they covered up well because Punk went for an elbow, and thankfully, I guess no one was going to get hurt except Punk. Breaker did what he was going to do anyways.
Right.
But yeah, they went back to it. So I'm going to sound hypocritical. The only reason it doesn't bother me here is because it's such a... Braun Breaker has to hit a Frankensteiner in the match. He just has to. It's Braun Breaker match. It's a big match. He's got to hit that. Just is what it is. That's how it goes in WWE. It did make Punk look kind of like stupid though, because you just tried this and you barely escaped. Why are you going to do it again? And then it backfires. And then a couple minutes later, he was going back up to the top rope. And it's the third time when he actually hit the elbow.
Yeah.
That got me because he had already hit one elbow. So I don't know. I'm forgiving it, but you're right. It did. They could have done better, but stuff happens.
Listen, I'm forgiving it too, but I'm genuinely thinking though, I don't know, Skeeter, the hypocritical nature of this one, brother. I don't know, man. This right
That's okay.
here.
I never claimed I wasn't a hypocrite.
No, I'm saying this one here feels more egregious than the others. And I think it feels more egregious than the others because of what you just described, right?
I think this is a big spot. Of things that they both had to do what happened again, essentially, is what made it bad. Because, okay, he goes off, Punk hits the elbow, but then they have to do it again. He has to hit the Frankensteiner. And then a couple minutes later, Punk actually has to go up and hit an elbow. It's weird. It's nitpicking. That's probably just stuff we watch so much wrestling. Yeah. We notice more than other people.
But I will say this, though. I think that AJ Styles and Dragon Lee handled this way better when they were wrestling Javon Evans and what's his name? The Slater guy. They handled it. Yes, they handled it way better. When AJ slipped off the top rope and was not able to deliver the phenomenal forearm in that match, that's a big spot. The phenomenal forearm is equivalent to the Breakensteiner. It's a signature move. It's a big move, right? And it's very visible. He missed it. Move on. The match looks better if you just move on. I
agree. And maybe they get, who knows, maybe they get told to do it again.
True.
Because, you never know what the ref gets in his earpiece and then what they get told. I'm not excusing them or excusing anyone that told them. It just, who knows? There were a couple other spots I loved when Breaker, I think it was earlier in the match when he was doing his run around the ring spear and the camera work where Punk jumped into the clothesline. I don't know if he jumped off the barricade or just the way they filmed it. You're expecting Braun to run around and, just spear the daylights out of Punk. And then as soon as the camera turns around the corner, Punk's flying in the air and clotheslining Braun. And I thought that was great.
Yeah, I was confused.
It really was great because of the camera work.
I was confused where Punk was coming from.
They filmed it in a way I don't know if he jumped from behind the barricade or off the barricade or he was just in front of it, but I thought it looked cool regardless.
Yeah, it did. The camera work was great. The camera work was exceptionally good. I just could not tell where Punk was coming from. I thought when the camera got to Punk, it looked to me like he leaped the barricade. You know what I'm saying?
That's what it looked like to me too.
It looked like he leaped the barricade, landed on both feet, and then did a knee? Or
I thought he hit him with a clothesline,
maybe
but I don't remember. Regardless, the thing that got me was like you couldn't see Punk until all of a sudden he was on screen flying at Braun Breaker through the air.
Agreed. It was a great shot. Shout out to WWE and the camera crew because they captured that one really well. Just the whole framing of the shot from when he slid out of the ring and Heyman was watching him, and then to track him all the way around the ring. Like it was just a great shot. It was just framed well. It looked great. Both of these competitors did a phenomenal job in the match. I feel it's hard in these situations because though I know that the Vision, particularly the Vision with Paul Heyman, are going to have a very good way to tie this into whatever story they're telling. I guess I just feel like Breaker should have won here. I'm interested to see what story they tell off of this and how they tell the story, because there is a world here where Breaker is the next guy up, but you're not there yet, kid, kind of thing. And how does he reconcile this within the Vision as the seeming de facto leader of the Vision? And how does he and Paul handle this? It'll be really interesting to see. This does, however, free up Braun to be entered into the Royal Rumble.
Yes.
Because if he won the title, he wouldn't be in it. And I can see this is a good opportunity for him to be in the Rumble, for him to really make a name for himself. I don't know if he wins it. He's definitely a front runner. He's definitely a front runner to potentially win the whole thing. But in fact, you know what? I feel like I just talked myself into being okay with this. Like, I think I was okay with it already. But now that
I was fine with it. I don't want to say I was going in expecting Braun Breaker to win.
Yeah.
But I will say my guttural reaction, which is one of my favorite parts of getting really into good pro wrestling, is that as that match went on, I was rooting for Braun Breaker to win.
Yeah.
Because the near falls, like when Punk's covering him, you just get that, it's deep in your gut and your soul, and you're like, kick out, come on.
Yeah.
And then when he's about to hit his big move, you're like, oh, don't get countered,
yep.
and stuff like that. And yeah, I was fully in on Braun. I thought the finish worked well. I know some people didn't like it. Breaker hits the huge splash onto the table, which was incredibly athletic for him to do that leap. Like, you see Logan Paul do it, it looks crazy. And then you see, a former NFL running back doing it. It's a little different, just scary athletic. But it works for me. Like his inexperience, like he ran the ropes one too many times and just gave Punk just that little bit for him to get the last gasp. Like you, I'm interested to see how they spin it, how they show Braun reacting, and what like the plan is going forward. Because I think, like you said, I think it's going to be Braun in the Royal Rumble, and we'll see. But I'm also okay with him not winning it here, because I know this is going to be weird to say, because it's probably, they're making this episode of Raw seemingly a big thing. This first one, they're going to treat it as the anniversary, I would assume. It's one of your 2 or 3 biggest Raws of the year, I'd say. I mean, we'd say Raw after Mania.
Yep.
Probably your biggest. This is one of them. But is this stage big enough to crown Braun Breaker? I would argue no.
Yeah.
So, we'll see. We'll see. I'm okay with it. I want to see where it goes. But the match was great. Towards the end, it had me on the edge of my seat. I was a couple near falls and got me. And yeah, I had a blast watching it. I thought it delivered with a lot of hype, which is not always easy to do.
I agree. And listen, I'll say this. I was online after, was it after this match or before? I think it was before the match. I was online And I noticed something, Skeena. I noticed that we may not be the only people who have tossed around this idea that Austin Theory is a plant. We talked about this like a week or so ago about the idea that Austin Theory could be a plant from Seth to keep an eye on what's going on in the division. And someone else online, I want to say it might have been Simon Miller, because I think he's the only person whose opinion I really even pay attention to nowadays outside of ours. So it had to have been him because he's the only person I would have consumed. I think he stated this idea as well.
Not your Stevie Richards co-host guy?
No, I have. You know what?
Our boy Shaq Majori.
No, dude. What did I see on Stevie? So I saw a thumbnail, and I feel like it had something to do with the last Raw of 25. Something that happened on that card Stevie Richards was talking about. I can't remember what it was. Or he said something like this was terrible or this was awful. He was talking about something. And I remember seeing what it was that he was talking about. And I was like, you sound like a hater. I remember thinking that, like, you sound like a hater. Like, why this? I wish I could remember what it was, but I'm not going to dignify the channel with going to even look for it to see what it was. But you can look it up on your own time if you're listening. If you want to know what it is, you can just go to the Stevie Richards show on YouTube. And one of his later videos is describing something in the thumbnail. And it's like, this was awful or this was pathetic or something like that. And I'm just like, I have no bandwidth right now for this stupid mess. So I'm not even going to indulge in it. But the idea that Austin Theory, who came to the dance late, who came to the dance underneath a mask, who came to the dance doing all of Seth's hits, who has been in a stable with Seth Rollins before, is somehow here in this stable. I love the idea that he is here on behalf of Seth Rollins. And I would just love for this to be one of those things, Skeena, where you start slow burning this idea that things are not working out for the people involved in the division because Austin Theory is tweaking events. Like, I'm just thinking about the last interaction we just saw with the Vision, right? This run-in for Braun Breaker's match. Now, obviously, there's nothing here for me to speak on, but I just thought that it would be great if, like, you start seeing events like these where Austin Theory is in the way. And it's not done so ham-fistedly like when, what was it? Who was in the title match? It was Judgment Day. And somebody was in a title match. Was it Roxanne? I think it was Roxanne Perez. She was in a match and there was interference by the Judgment Day. Liv Morgan had got up on the apron and she had made the distraction successfully. And then Raquel got up there.
I think this was Raquel a couple weeks ago, right?
No, Raquel was the person outside the ring. She did the second interference because Liv pulled her off the apron.
Okay. Yeah. Well, okay. Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Match.
That right there was very much apparent because we're trying to show this division between this rift that could be forming within the members of the Judgment Day. I would love to see something that's more subtle, more subterfuge, right? Maybe it's not something that you see immediately. Maybe it's something that WWE does very intentionally, right? Like, it's very much established how the match is going to go with a camera angle that is a specific way, right? That subtly drops these breadcrumbs that maybe you don't speak on immediately, but in retrospect, you see them. Maybe when Seth comes back, right? And then you find out that Austin Theory has been here with Seth, been here on Seth's behalf the whole time, right? And then WWE can do what they do and they put together a montage, right? Of all of these moments where if you were paying attention, right? Austin Theory was in this one spot and he gets knocked off the ring and he maybe falls into Bronson Reed. And that's what stopped Bronson Reed from getting in the ring and helping Logan Paul win a match. Or, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, it's these clever little things where Seth was architecting this entire situation from a distance. And it just plays into this line that Seth had with Paul Heyman. And when Paul was then having a conversation with someone in the back and they were talking about Brock Lesnar, and they were asking, I think they were asking, it might have been, it was either Seth or Paul, and they were asking him about Brock Lesnar's involvement in the Vision's affairs in some way. And it was either Paul or Seth that was saying, like, Seth is always in control. It's always Seth's decision. I can't remember what it was, but this idea that Seth is not out of this picture just because, quote unquote, Braun pushed him out.
That is interesting.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and listen, to go a step further, if Braun Breaker finds out about this, right, and now he's heated because Seth's been pulling these strings the entire time. Maybe Braun Breaker ain't won the title because Seth has not wanted it to happen. And he's done these things to keep the title away from Breaker, right? Then you can set up this feud between Breaker and Seth when he comes back. And I mean, that's inherent anyway, because in the storyline wise, Breaker put him out. So it was always going to end this way. But I don't know. This is speculation. And you know, speculation station is taken off. So we're done with that. But it was a great match. Punk is still your champion. We're going into WrestleMania season with the title picture looking like this. CM Punk is your world heavyweight champion. Your women's world champion is Stephanie Vaquer. Your women's tag team champions are Io Sky and Rhea Ripley. Your women's intercontinental champion is Becky Lynch. On the other side of the table, you've got Jade Cargill as your women's WWE champion. As your WWE champion is Cody Rhodes. Your U.S. champion is Carmelo Hayes. And your women's U.S. champion is Julia. So that is your title picture going into WrestleMania season. I know that they say WrestleMania, the road to WrestleMania doesn't officially start until Royal Rumble, I think is when they say. But we already on that road because I'm a firm believer in the fact that the storylines that you are setting up prior to getting in the Royal Rumble is what makes the Royal Rumble worth watching. It's always a great match to watch, but seeing the stories that are happening and are unfolding in the Rumble outside of just who wins them is what makes the Royal Rumble just the best match to watch each year if you don't watch any other match. So for me, the road to WrestleMania starts now. So that is your picture, your title scene for the start of the WrestleMania season, the start of 2026. And the year feels like it's starting off strong. Skeener, your takeaway from the first week of WWE programming in 2026.
I just think the future is here. We got Obafemi. We got Braun Breaker in a main event. We got Javon Evans being introduced as the newest member of the Raw roster during a commercial break. We got Trick Williams. I think, and more to come, I'm sure. So the future is here, and the road to WrestleMania is, we're starting to get on it. We're approaching the on-ramp, if nothing else.
Agreed. My takeaway from this first week of WWE programming in 2026 is y'all better watch out for them lemon pepper steppers. That's all I gotta say. Y'all better watch out for them lemon pepper steppers. Apparently, who's the GM over on SmackDown?
Nick Aldis.
Nick Aldis apparently used that card called 1-800-WHOOP-DAT and called Big Trick Willie to show up and show out. So all I'm going to say is that the road is looking very, very bright. And the championship scenes are going to be really fun to watch. And who knows what's coming in the future. I mean, and I'm talking about the future of January. We could be getting a Jericho countdown. We're definitely getting some Obafemi. Like, there's so much to look forward to, and we haven't even gotten to the Rumble. Like, who's going to show up in the Rumble this year? And they're getting that Saudi money. I don't know. You can see some faces that you ain't seen in a long time. I hope we don't see some faces that are like too old. But you know how the Saudis do. They want to have their nostalgia pops. I just stay home, guys. Watch from afar. Got enough money. But I digress. We are wrapping up the first episode of the Lariat Lounge for 2026, guys. I'm glad that you're here. This is the place to be going into WrestleMania season and 2026. is going to be a big year of wrestling. It's going to be a big year for the Lariat Lounge. There are a lot of things that I've got planned. There are a lot of things that you guys will be able to interact with us over these PLEs. We're going to be getting some things out to the people this year that you can own for yourself. A little foreshadowing, but it's something that I want to see come to fruition this year. We're going to make it happen. So stick with us. It's going to be a fun ride. Skeener, please let our friends who are listening know where they can keep in touch with us.
The Lariat Lounge. This podcast is coming at you once a week, every week, wherever you get your podcasts. We're on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all the other platforms where you get your shows. We're over on Instagram at the Lariat Lounge Podcast. And as always, feel free to send us a shout at the Lariat Lounge at gmail.com.
We really do appreciate the interaction, guys. And listen, don't let your interaction stop just because there's not a poll up. If you're listening to the podcast and you like what we're doing, yeah, every week I ask you to leave us a like rating wherever you're listening. But if like ratings is not where you're going to be able to interact with us on Instagram. Leave us a post. Skeener checks that thing all the time. Leave us a post.
It'll send me a notification immediately, and I will respond to you.
And we will talk about whatever it is you want us to talk about on the show. You leave us something that you want us to discuss on the show about an episode of Raw or SmackDown or something that's wrestling related to WWE, and we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it because that's what we do, baby. We run our mouths and we talk. That's what we like to do. And 2026 is going to be the year of talking. That's what we do. So come back, check us out. We appreciate you guys. We genuinely do. 2026 is going to be fun. I don't know if you can tell by the enthusiasm in my voice, but I am pumped. It's going to be a great year, and we're going to have fun doing it together. From your host, Everson Godfrey, co-host Andrew Skeens, this has been another edition of the Lariat Lounge. Welcome to 2026. Please watch yourself on the way out.